pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2C, approval, previous approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item 3, consent agenda. Chair, entertain a motion for consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Motion second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
I abstain.
Motion passes. Item 4, audience delegations. That's not what we have tonight. Item 5, old business. We have no old business. Item 6A, superintendent.
All right, I've just got a few things for us before we have some what's great. And we have some great things that I'll share. I'd like to let you all know that this afternoon we found out that our own Mr. Dekoff is the Regional Teacher of the Year. 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Which we know Laura Fries was just amazing. She still is amazing, and now on our Education Foundation board. But Mr. Dekoff, we just kind of marvel in his excellence, and so him being able to be that Regional Teacher of the Year is very exciting. And so we will be headed to a luncheon for him on the 17th of July, where he will be presented with that. So we believe that he'll go far. He should have won that state award, but hopefully this will be something that really will stand out. He's just tremendous. So we're excited about that. Yesterday, seems like ages ago, but yesterday we met with a significant portion of our new employees. So we have kind of a summer meet and greet, and they get their computers. And yesterday was that time, and what a great group of new teachers that we have. And the interesting piece is that we have some tenured teachers and some new baby teachers. They were all very excited to be here with us, and I got to ride on the bus around the district and see all of the different areas, and it really was a great way for them to get to know us. Now next year, we're considering pushing that to something that we do in August on our new teacher days, mainly because it's hard for some people to be able to get there. It is during the summer, and we don't have everybody hired yet. And so there's a lot of little logistic pieces that come into play. So we're going to look at something next year in August, and we're looking forward to that. I was doing some digging on employee attendance. Remember last year we talked about how it's a priority that if we're wanting our students to be here, we want our employees to be here. And so we really clarified a lot of our expectations for our staff, especially on days off. And so I got really excited because I got some numbers that I thought were way off, but then we had Tracy Dingus run the numbers for me one more time. Not the same numbers that I got to begin with, but really good numbers. I want you guys to know that we were down over 2,200 hours from the 22-23 school year of absences for our staff. To put that into days, that's over 300 days less missed by our staff this previous year, the 22-23 school year. And so really, there was no yelling or screaming or anything like that. It was just a clarification of our expectations and knowing that if we want our students to be here and you as a staff member are going to say, I want you to be here, then to the students than we want the staff members to be here. And principals did a great job of clarifying that as well. With regards to blackout days and things like that, we really just kind of held firm on our decision-making process as well. Those all come to me. If I have any concerns or not, I'll go to Dr. Parkhurst, but it really was teachers starting to see, yep, those are those days, and if I'm on a blackout day, then we know what's going to happen. And so we really felt good about that. And then the last thing that we did is we wrapped up summer school, and Annie just has some final numbers for us as far as attendance for our summer school.
So overall in May, we started off with a total, this is ECC, HES, McEwen, HMS, and high school numbers all together. We started with 917 students that had enrolled in some sort of course or summer school program. And we ended in June with 731 students. The breakdown was ECC started off enrolling 70 and ended in the last day of summer school with 63, which is great because this was the first year we did full day kindergarten as well at summer school. And so to fluctuate only 7 students from the beginning to the end is really good. HES numbers, we had 219 enroll and 201 finished. McEwen 114, 95 finished. HMS 116, 87 finished. And then high school was 398 and 285 finished. And so then I dug a little bit deeper into the high school to get a breakdown of kind of where the numbers were for those students. So I have all that information too. But overall, summer school went great. We got great feedback from Bob Florence, who's a representative from Summer Journeys that Dr. Falke and I worked with. And he was very complimentary of her organizational skills, and she already has a notebook. We've already debriefed about summer school and made notes for changes and started looking for how to improve for the upcoming school year. So overall, it was great.
Thank you. And that's all I have. Oh, that's a lie. I apologize. You do have what's great today.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just going to hop over
I
here.
just went right past it. She's going to do it anyway. So we've got some end of the year pieces for us, and so take it
Good
away.
evening. The first slide is going to be a lot of people that you've already seen this year, but they continue to accomplish things in May and June, and I wanted to spotlight, just let you know where we were with them. We had 2 state golf qualifiers, which you hadn't seen this year, that made it to state golf. Bryson Wilkins and Zach Cook. And then at state track, you have seen Kaylee because she was a state champion in cross country, and she's also a state champion in the 2 mile, sorry, at state track. And she also brought home a 2nd and a 4th with a school record. Just a few. She ended, by the way, by going to Oregon to compete in a national type event and set a PR, of course, to end her track season. Mm-hmm. In Oregon, at where they're holding the Olympic trials. That's where she ran. Yeah. And then Paige Cribbs got 5th in the javelin, and our girls team got 8th overall at state track. So very good showing there. Mariah was at the spelling bee. Got to watch her spell even. I watched online. She spelled her first word right during the first round, which was demurrage. Anyone? Okay. She spelled that correctly. And the way they do it now is the second round, every other round is a vocabulary round, so it's spelling and vocab, so you have to pick a definition out of a choice of definitions. And so the second round, she got a word and she missed the definition on that. So her bee was over, but she did great because her goal, her sister had told me, we were texting back and forth, her goal was to get past the first round. Emma Coffey, who you saw earlier this year as a CCC professional, young professional, is headed to the National Educator Rising Conference at the end of this week in DC to compete. She had earned first in state in March, and so she'll be going to DC. And then, Cooper is currently at the National Thespian Convention. I texted the mom right before it came, and I asked when the Thespies were handed out, and they're handed out, she thinks, Thursday night. So we won't know till then how he did, but I'm hoping for good things from him. So you've seen many of them. This next one is super fun. So if you haven't seen this video, we won't play the whole thing, but our friend Lily Dale, who's a Harrisville High School student, was invited to sing the national anthem at a Special Olympics fundraiser hosted by Andy Reid. And so she was there, and I have a little bit of the video. I hope. Oh, we'll let you play it.
If I can get it going.
Okay, there it is.
Just a minute. I'm very technical.
You're fine. But you can see, you can see her walking on stage.
Oh
yeah, look at her. It's okay.
Because the beginning's the best part of the whole thing.
There she is.
I got it.
Ah. There you go. You're good. That's good. There we go.
But you gotta watch the first part.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Another one of our special Missouri athletes is Lily Gale. She lives in Harrisonville, Missouri, so she's a Harrisonville Wildcat.
And she, no fear. No
No fear of anything.
So she did great. The video pans over to show that Andy Reid was there. Anyway, she did a great job. And just a preview. If you come to the district opening meeting, you might get to hear it in person. So,
And it is worth it.
it is worth it. So there's a little carrot for you to come to our opening meeting in August. We've invited her to come sing that anthem. And then the last thing I just want to hit on was some partnerships. I like to hit on when we have partnerships within our community. And these two happened at the end of the year and then over summer school. The first picture is in summer school, all of the fifth graders that were enrolled in summer school participated in the summers in the public library summer reading program and all completed that program. So someone from the public library came and gave them their goodie bags at the end of summer school. So they all completed that, which also, they were also counting their minutes toward the McEwen reading challenge. So they'll have those minutes they needed. I think they had about half, Mrs. Hours said. So they'll have about half more to get to meet the McEwen summer reading challenge. And then the other one is that Mrs. Holman's kids did their Liberty Kids Store again in May. And they raised $1,750, which they donated to the Harrisonville Animal Shelter. So another successful Liberty Kids Store event.
Thanks, Jill.
Item 6B, teachers'
Oh,
We do not have any.
Item 6C, finance update.
Okay. As of the end of May, our fiscal year is 92% complete. At that point, we were at 95% of our revenue working budget and 83% of our expenditure working budget. Just a couple things to note if you are looking at the graphs at all. You'll see on the revenue comparison for the month of May that the capital project was at a negative amount. And that's because we actually moved, we had been putting the classroom trust fund monies in there for capital improvements. And we decided to move those over to Fund 2 so that we could build up that balance in anticipation of lower state aid for the coming years. So that's why I made that journal entry in May, so I popped that into the negative. So that, and then our fund balance percentage, 52% compared to 44 last year in May, and cash and investments are at 22.1 million.
Questions? Thanks, Deb. Item 6D, federal and state programs. Commissioner Ida. Questions for Andy?
Our numbers stayed very close to what they were before, so a decrease in $404 is great news.
Item 6E, federal and state programs, consolidated federal programs.
Do you have any questions for me?
Item 6F, EGS, State Board Handbook, and Employee Manual. This is an action item. Would entertain a motion to approve?
Move to approve the 2024-25 EGS student handbook, student parent handbook, and employee manual as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None approved. Item 6G, 2023-24 budget amendment resolution. An action item.
I move to approve
I move to approve the fiscal year 24 budget amendment to adjust the expenditure appropriations budget as presented. To approve a resolution authorizing a transfer from the general fund to the special revenue fund in the amount necessary to eliminate a special revenue fund deficit estimated at $2,662,845. To approve a resolution authorizing a transfer from the general fund to the capital projects fund in the amount necessary to cover the cost of food service equipment estimated at $100,000.
Second. Motion is second. Questions, discussion?
I would ask for a roll call on these resolutions, please.
All at once,
They're all together.
same time. Seeing no further discussion, questions, call the roll, please.
Doug Alexander,
Yes.
Nancy, Michael,
Yes.
Ashley, Emily,
Yes.
Doug.
Yes. Item 6G, 2023, excuse me, H, 2024-25 budget adoption. This is an action item. Motion.
Motion to approve the 2024-25 budget as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, discussion?
One of the things I noticed just looking, kind of comparing back to last year, the transportation piece was about a $300,000 increase, and I looked back through where are we getting an additional $300,000?
Yeah, so we have additional routes, especially with our sped routes. We had some students move in during the middle of the school year, which caused us to have some routes that were going to Kansas and a few other routes that caused us quite a bit of extra. And then there is a contracted increase for our buses that we approved when we approved the contract. But a lot of those extra routes are a part of that. But with those expenses, as our state budget was approved, 100% of our 75% of our transportation funds will be covered by state appropriations. So that's a positive piece continuing forward, even though we know that we're going to have some extra expenditures with our students that might go to state special schools. And so when we have to take a bus, it's just one student, it's another additional route, especially if we have one that's in Kansas. It takes a little bit to go there and then pick them up each other. Just those extra routes.
Kansas,
School for the day.
School for the day.
It's a lot closer than Missouri School.
Which is in St. Louis.
Oh, gosh.
Latham.
Yes, yeah.
Correct.
Any other questions or observations?
On the activities, athletics and activities as we talk about it, and we talk about as everyone's looking, I guess, how are we looking at the budgets to make sure all expenses are kind of generalized across, like that we're not seeing boys sports get a bigger increase than girls sports, or one sport getting more than that, what's kind of the guidance around the increase that we're seeing in the activity or the athletics?
In the expenditure piece,
Yes.
okay. When we do that expenditure piece, I'll have Deb just kind of go on that. Really, it is an estimation of expenditures, not actual budgeted amounts for those programs. And so when we look at the student activities account, that is a separate account, that is not a board account. And so when we're in that, we're looking at what fundraisers PTAs might use or other areas might use. So those are all schools accounts, not just activities with that. And then with the athletics piece, there is an increase in expenditures for that, because if you'll remember, after a year started last year, we hired a physical or a athletic trainer. So that wasn't on that expenditure from last year's that you saw. And so that is the additional piece of expenditure in that athletic department, knowing that we're taking on a full time athletic trainer in this budget expenditures as well, and then just a general increase. But budgeted amounts and expenditures are given to the high school principal and then to the athletic director, who then works on the budget that they have and divvies it out from there.
Other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Item I, bids for fuel for 2024-26.
Move to accept the bid for fuel products as specified to MFA Oil Company for the 2024, 25, and 25, 26 school years based on pricing provided. Bulk tanks for diesel and ready to be installed.
Second. Any questions or discussion? We're going to do 2 years at a time.
We are doing 2 years.
We are
This
doing
year.
We have to say we didn't last year.
We didn't last year, but this year
We
are
have been doing it
this.
every year, and I just kind of questioned why we were doing it every year, and other districts, I kind of, yeah,
When we get new providers.
like
Tanks
other
are the
districts
hookups
weren't
are
doing it,
kind of
and, yeah.
There's
But
a
we
cost
do-
associated with the replacement of the tanks and the electricity that runs to shut them on and off to and from the bus barn. And so it's just a reoccurring cost we keep switching companies, so.
But we want to do a 2 year. We don't want to do more than a 2 year because we don't want to get caught into a price increase. Another thing that's on there is that we do have the state tax, the fuel tax that's on there, which is not an exempt piece of sales tax that government agencies receive.
So that amount that's shown is the total amount that we're gonna pay for 2 years, regardless of what the price is?
No, it's based on a bid date, and the fuel prices are adjusted daily. So whatever their daily prices are, daily or weekly, I kind of forget. But it's like whatever the going rate is for that day.
So how does this, I don't understand, I guess I just don't understand the bid number itself isn't so much per gallon, isn't it? But that's not the amount we're gonna be paying necessarily.
Correct, it just happened to be for the, I can't remember what I used, like a June
So they just gave a price for that particular date?
date. So they all were looking at their prices.
I see.
For a specific date, but what we actually pay will fluctuate just like what you pay at the pump.
Uh-huh. So it won't,
So basically what you're looking at probably more than anything is the starting bid per gallon and the markup amount.
It's still
state tax
substantially
is gonna be
cheaper
the
than
same
what
for
I'm gonna
everybody.
pay at the diesel pump right now.
oh, yeah.
What's
Both
that?
of them
Yeah, like the diesel's still right there.
We got this one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
And really, the reason we're signing a 2-year contract though is to go ahead and lock it in, so we will have this, the equipment and everything. That's what-
And basically so that they were locked into a markup amount.
Any other questions? Very good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Item J, increase in extended days. This is the action item. Motion.
move to increase the extended days for the 2 district process coordinators from 7 to 10 days.
Second.
Motion second. Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Item K, reinstatement of Special Olympics coach. This is an action item.
Move to reinstate a stipend for the Special Olympics coach for 2024-25 school year.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Item L, adjustment of student council sponsor stipends. This is an action item.
I'll move to approve the elimination of assistant student council sponsor stipend and to increase the head student council sponsor stipend from 4% to 6%.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Item 7A, motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn the regular meeting.
I heard a lot of
7:29.
noise.
Somebody got to second it.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. This was an easy one compared to what you did before. All in favor, roll call, right? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, stand adjourned.
There was a lot of extra room.
I emailed it to you.